Good evening, my fellow Mississippians and my fellow Americans. Jamie Alasia Roberts here with a redo video of my last video titled Boot Camp Needed for Hateful and Racist Kids. I wanted to do a redo of that video because there was some key points that I didn't get to mention, and a couple of things that I didn't get to make clear on some things that I mentioned, and I'll let you know which one that is when I get to that part. I want to start out by saying continued prayers for the little 7-year-old boy that was injured in his school in Maryland. I believe it was last year in November 2024. They're kind of speaking about that still, trying to still bring that poor baby and his family justice. So continued prayers that they get the answers that they need. Also, prayers for little Amory, the little girl who also suffered something on her way to school. I believe it's on her way to school or on her way home from school. Or she may have been going to someone's house or playing outside. I'm not sure of the exact details of that, but I do know that it was 3 young boys, 8, 9, and 10, and involved. I will not release their names, but I will say they were 8, 9, and 10 years old, Caucasian American children that did this to this little girl Amory for simply existing. You know, MAGA is out here worried about having Christian conversion camps for LGBTQ plus kids that do not at all need it. Like they're just simply wanting to live in society. They're not out here trying to harm no one or cause no hate or anything. They just want to simply exist in society, grow up in their life, live their life, become productive members of society. But you have MAGA politicians and their allies and their people trying to push for Christian conversion camps that involved electrotherapy and all that. No human should ever have to endure that, especially not a child. What is needed, and once elected as U.S. Senator, I will work very hard to open up military boot camps that don't use electroshock or none of that. Military boot camps all over the U.S. that use extensive military training to convert and rehabilitate children who choose to commit hate crimes, especially heinous hate crimes against their fellow humanity. And the parent or guardian of said child suspect or suspects should be investigated to see what kind of charges they will face, especially if it is a heinous hate crime that their child or children committed. In addition, I would also work to pass legislation that would demand the parent or guardian of said child suspect or suspects would definitely have to pay reparation money to the parent or parents or guardian or guardians of the child victim or victims as recourse. Like, because you gotta think about it. When people commit hate crimes, especially as heinous as the one committed on little Amory, or other ones that were committed that were heinous, that causes PTSD, trauma, mental trauma. So it is very fair that families like Amory's family or the little boy in Maryland's family get a reparation check, because this is going to change their life, not just mentally and physically, but financially. These parents are going to have to take time to be at home with their children to get them through what they have just been through. In little Amory's case, she's most definitely probably going to have to be homeschooled now. The little boy in Maryland, I'm sure he's having to be homeschooled. I'm sure, he's gonna have to be homeschooled, so he's properly protected. And that costs time and money, especially if these are working parents and they have to quit their jobs to do this for their children because of these heinous, disgusting hate crimes that were committed against them. So yes, they deserve reparation money. If you don't want to pay reparation money, then stop being a racist or hateful or discriminate or a bigot. Stop committing hate crimes or heinous hate crimes or any type of hate crime. And if it's your children did it and you don't want to be responsible for paying reparation money for the hate crime or hate crimes they perpetrated, no matter what kind it is, and you don't want to face criminal charges for it either, then raise your kids to be better people, or pay better attention to your kids to make sure that they don't do these type of things to other kids or even adults, because there are adults that have even been attacked from children, and vice versa. You have adults that have attacked children via a hate crime, and it's disgusting. It needs to stop. Our African American brothers and sisters, or our brothers and sisters of color, should not have to walk around where they live in automatic survival mode or automatic fight or flight mode because people want to go out and choose to be hateful and racist and discriminate and bigotry and all of the things that have to do with hate and hate crimes itself. That is not fair to them. Yes, I know I'm going to have people that are going to say, we all go through types of hate, and yes, we do. All walks of life, no matter what color of our skin or what gender we are or what we are, like with me being trans, yes, we all go through hate, but no one is catching the most hate right now other than people of color. You need to wake up, America, and you need to understand and realize that yes, while everyone is under some sort of attack, negative attack, hateful or whatever, you have to firmly admit that our brothers and sisters of color are going through it the most. I don't see any white people, YT people being deported. No, I only seen brown-skinned people being deported and fighting through all that ugly immigration issue, which I'm going to cover in another video. How ICE has just gone way too far, way too far. Speaking of children, yeah, they've gone way too far. And so has our country, so is America. People, you're just going way too far. If you have issues with other people, welcome to the 21st century. It's called block them, ignore them. Move your kids to another school, move to another place. I know it's not something you want to have to do, but be a human and do it. But don't ever resort to violence or let your children resort to violence because you disagree with who someone is, or you don't like who they are, or you don't like the color of their skin, or you don't like something about them. Take nonviolent actions. People, why does everyone have to resort to violence? Aren't you tired of fighting? Aren't you tired of the hate? Aren't you tired of it all? I know I'm tired of it. That's why I'm coming out of my comfort zone, because I know I can do it. I'm strong and I am ready for this fight. And I know there's a lot that's going to come at me, a lot of it bad and some good too, but a lot of it bad. And I'm ready for it. I can stand up and fight. I can do this. That's why I'm running for U.S. Senator. Because I know I can do this. I know I can make a difference in people's lives. That is my goal, is to make a difference, is to help, is to heal, is to end the violence, is to end the racism. And if I have to create laws or help create laws, legislation to pass laws that introduce military boot camps for children and teens that commit any types of hate crimes, to convert and rehabilitate that hate right on out of them, then so be it. And to make sure that their parents are not only criminally responsible, but financially responsible, as far as the financial part, reparation money to the victims that their child perpetrated the hate crime on, then so be it. Reparation money will be given. So be it. Whatever it takes to let people know that this kind of hateful behavior will not be tolerated. It will not be accepted, because we are all God's creation. We are all God's children. And if you take the color off of our skin, at the bottom of it is whiter than Casper the Friendly Ghost. And it's true. If a person of color were like badly burned, and that spot where they were badly burned, they would automatically lose at least some of their color in their skin, and you would see white. So MAGA people, why are so many of y'all being so racist and so hateful? Like, somebody made a very good point on TikTok. I'm not going to say their name, but someone I came across made a very good point. You don't see black supremacists or brown supremacists. You only see white supremacists. You only ever hear of white supremacy. The only thing people of color are trying to do is exist in the world. They're trying to live their lives. They're trying to mind their own business. They're just trying to exist and try to live. People, stop with the damn hate. It's not going to get us anywheres. Violence is not going to get us anywheres. I heard someone make a comment about going out and slapping a bunch of white kids because they're tired of the racism as a person of color. I don't condone that either. I'm sorry that you're going through something as a person of color, hatred or whatever, but that's not an excuse for you to go out and slap a bunch of white kids. That's disgusting. But that's what's going on. You have different sides saying different things about each side. And it's getting so hateful. And it's turning really violent. How is that going to resolve anything? It's not. What's going to resolve is getting people like me into better position in a better position, I guess is the proper thing to say, to really fight this, to fight it, to help fight it to end, to help fight to make a difference. If enough of us can band together, if we can come together, enough of us, if we can come together, united. It would be nice if it was the entire country of America, but even if just half of us, if half of America could come together, we could make a difference. I know there's other people speaking out, but I want to be the ones to speak out too, because it only takes one snowflake to start an avalanche. And I am going to be part of that flake that causes that avalanche. And it's going to be a good avalanche. It's going to be the one to where, like I said, I'm going to work to abolish and end racism. Whatever we have to work to put into place to make sure it's done. Because this type of behavior is unacceptable. It's getting to the point to where that is getting so tremendously bad with the racism and hate and all of that stuff, that it's affecting children. That children are starting to do this. And at some point, the age of innocence goes out the window, especially when it's such a heinous crime. Age of innocent goes out the window. That's canceled. This is not okay, people. This is not at all okay. Not at all okay in any kind of context. And we need to stand up together and help put an end to this. And I will do whatever I have to in every fiber of my being to fight as hard as I have to ensure that all of this is put a stop to. And that the ones that it has happened to, I will make sure that they get the answers and the justice that they deserve. Because we are all human beings. We're not punching bags. We're not something for you to take your hateful frustrations out on, or whatever you deem fit that you just decide to do. We are human beings. If you don't like someone for a certain reason, whether it be their skin color or who they are as a person or whatever it may be, go take an art class. Go take a boxing class. Go take a karate class. Go see a movie. Smoke a joint. Relax. And don't worry about them, because they don't pay your bills. They don't dictate your life. They're not interrupting your life. You're interrupting your own life by being a racist or hateful asshole towards them, by taking action towards them for the fact that you don't like their skin color or you don't like something about them. That's where you interrupt your own life. That's how your life gets interrupted. When you choose to take action and interrupt your own life. So if you don't want your life interrupted, don't be a racist or a hateful douchebag. Be a better person. Be better to humanity. Be a better example. Be a better example for your kids. Be a better example for children, period. Even if you don't have kids and you have just nieces or nephews or whatever. Even if you have just children around you or whatever. Still be a better role model. Even if you're not around kids somehow. You're going to walk out into the world in a store, or you're going to be somewhere where a child is going to end up seeing you no matter what. So think about that on your mind the next time you go and do something that a child may see, and then they think it's okay for them to do it. And then they end up doing stuff like what was done to Amory, or the little boy, little 7-year-old boy in Maryland. They end up doing stuff like that because they seen another adult do it, or they seen mommy or daddy or do it, or grandpa or grandma, or the aunties or uncles or one of them do it. So it's okay for me to do it too, is what they're thinking in their little minds. So let's be a better role model for our young people. Before I end this video, I do want to talk a little bit about my next video, which I said will be it will be about how ICE has gone too far. And like I said, speaking of children, that's part of that discussion. I do want to say that in my last video, I did mention that a national registry needs to be created to make people and businesses aware of adults, well, I said children, teens, or adults who commit hate crimes. And I apologize for that, because no minor, regardless, needs to have their information made public for the whole world or for the whole country. So I apologize. I should have made more clear that the National Registry needs to be created to make people and businesses aware of adults who commit hate crimes, so these people and businesses have a chance to protect themselves, just in case the person or persons who committed a hate crime in the past relapses back into committing hate crimes again. But in addition to that, something needs to be put into place. I can't quite put my finger on exactly what it is, but something needs to be put into place also for children and teens, that at least makes the school or Head Start, preschool, daycare center, or whatever type of schooling center that they're going to attend aware of any hate crimes or any type of anything hateful bullying, even if it wasn't a hate crime, even if it was hateful bullying, anything that spells a pattern that could show that the child could end up committing a hate crime. I mean, you got schools that are wanting to screen kids to see if they're transgender or if they're cisgender. So why shouldn't schools have something in place to screen and check a child's records to see if they've been associated in any hateful, racist, discriminate, or bigot type of bullying that they were suspended for, or disciplined for, or anything reported for. That way the next school can take proper measures to prevent what happened to the little boy in Maryland, or to prevent it from even happening outside of school. Like in Amory's case, hers happened outside of school, but these are children that I believe she goes to school with. And even if she doesn't, they're still school children. They still go to a school, even if they go to one different from her. That information I don't know. Then something needs to be put into place. I love you all so very much. We're approaching 25 minutes, and I try not to make my videos longer than 25 minutes anymore. But I just wanted to redo this video, and like I said, I apologize if my last video in some way offended anyone. That's never my goal. My goal is always to spread awareness, positivity, love, support, to show people that I'm here, being their extra voice and standing up for them and fighting for them and loving them. I love you all, my brothers and sisters in the Lord's blood. I love you so very much. Please, please Stay blessed and stay safe. Have a good evening.